And of course, on Big Replay tonight, we'll be taking a look at the highlights of two of the major games. We'll be taking a look at Sturt versus Glenelg from the Glenelg Oval, and also a look at the highlights of the big clash at Football Park between Port and West. But just taking a look at the scores from other grounds today. At Elizabeth, Centrals had an easy win, 17 goals 22, 124 points to Norwood, 12 goals 9, 81. And at Woodville, South Adelaide, 19 goals 21, 135 points, defeated Woodville. Woodville coming back to earth this week, 12 goals 11, 83 points. And the only report of the day occurred at the Glenelg Oval today, where Chris Duthie was reported for unduly rough play. Well, at Football Park, we saw Port clash with West Adelaide. Ian Day was there. Ian, a crushing win by Port Adelaide.
Sure was, Rick. Yes, Port Adelaide blitz reigning premiers West Adelaide down at Football Park this afternoon, and the most impressive display. 36 scoring shots to 14 says it all, with the final margin being 62 points. Port Adelaide won despite two of its brilliant players in Craig Bradley and Russell Ebert being well contained by the West Adelaide defence, but it left them with four teenagers to play a big part in the drubbing. Timmy Evans booted 8. For West Adelaide, it simply wasn't their day. No Luders, no Linder, no Smith, and it left them pretty bereft in the forward lines. 3 games in 6 days was simply too much, and Port Adelaide killed them off in the second half. After half-time, Port Adelaide kicked 10-11 to 2-2 to record their second win.
And at Glenelg today, myself, Keith Conlon and Robert Oatey saw the clash between Glenelg and Sturt. Glenelg just beaten by Central Districts last week. There was a big wind blowing down there today, Robert. Carey won the toss. Glenelg kicked with the wind, but they didn't take advantage.
No, they certainly didn't. And Sturt defended very, very well in that first quarter. Of course, that was aided to a great extent by the fact that Glenelg couldn't kick straight. They didn't allow for the wind. They kicked a lot of points, and on the rebound plays, Sturt were able to defend to the grandstand side. Stephen Kernahan, though, he showed early in that first quarter that he was going to be a very important factor in the game, and this he proved to be as the game went on. He took 4 very good marks in rebound from the Sturt players. He kicked them back in, but still they couldn't score, and at quarter time there was only 4 points of difference, and I think that Sturt could have been well pleased, Rick, with the fact that they were only that far behind at quarter time.
They defended very well in that first quarter. In fact, that's where we'll pick up our highlights of our first game tonight. At the start of the second quarter, Glenelg lead by 4 points, 2 goals 7 to Sturt 2 goals 3. Siren sounds to start the second quarter here at Glenelg. Sturt kicking with the breeze, and Halbert has instructed his players to play the far side of the ground and come in with that breeze. McKechnie got the tap, went straight to McGuinness. Marshall onto the left boot. Up towards the edge of the square, and Stringer kept his eye on the ball. He's taken a good mark. Thought about using Simons, then went straight to the pocket. In front, Nichols couldn't take it off hands. Nichols gets a second chance onto the right boot. It's wobbling, screwing back. In fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full. Glenelg took it out of the centre into the breeze. Didn't take advantage of their wind in the first quarter. They only kicked 2 goals 7 after Carey had won the toss. Outer side centre wing. Sturt get it through, looking for Craig.
It's Holst.
Well smothered. Craig again couldn't pick it up. Holt's fighting hard. He's got 3 under 1 at this stage. Howard coming in for Sturt with big Carey. Well tackled by McFarlane. Howard gets the kick away up towards the forward pocket. Well, Sturt are out on that far side at the moment. Motley couldn't take the mark. Comes to ground. Will be picked up inside the boundary line. No pressure at all applied. Towards the full forward position. Didn't find Davies, and Glenelg will send it right back to where it came from. Craig, handball. Filkey onto the left boot. 30 metres out, directly in front. Sturt have answered. First goal to Filkey. Sturt 3-3, Glenelg 2-7.
Well, it's still a bit scrambly, the play. Glenelg can't get anything to go. Their accuracy off hand and foot isn't good at the moment. Sturt, on the other hand, have picked up a couple of opportunities through a couple of bits of good play in the first quarter in particular. And then Craig Filkey, who's a very skillful player and been brought into the side today, scores a very well-judged left-foot goal.
Young David McKechnie to ruck for Sturt. He was taken off fairly early in the first quarter, and Hargraves certainly held the Glenelg rucks better. Carey, though, wins it easily for the Bays. Stringer couldn't pick it up. Being pushed forward now by Duthie for Glenelg. Derrington over the ball. He shoves it out to Heinrich, who's down from the back pocket, over the half-forward line for Sturt. But a good saving mark there. That's John Seabohm. He quickly plays it onto Walsh. Carey, handball's on, but it's covered well. Glenelg over the centre line now. Kernahan, big influence in the first quarter. Couldn't get hold of it then. Stringer it is. He's looking for Nichols, and Nichols has taken it. 1 goal to Nichols so far. Just had another shot, much more difficult one, out of bounds on the full. He lines up and he should score his second goal and Glenelg's third. Greg Nichols played well in a couple of the Escort Cup games, which was fairly quiet last week. And that's a shocker. It's all right, though. Shit, he must have driven it hard enough. Shockingly good enough. And it's a goal to Greg Nichols. It looked terrible off the boot to me, Robert, but it's good enough when it goes through the middle.
Yes, Glenelg coming into attack. They'll certainly be looking for the marking power up forward of their big full forward in Nichols. Centre-half forward at the moment, Stephen Kernahan. He's outstanding in the centre-half forward position. They've got him out of the goal square, and I think that'll suit them better to have him in the direct line of the kick rather than resting in a forward pocket.
4 minutes gone of the second quarter. Glenelg have hit the front by 4 points. McKechnie against Carey. Carey's big weight got the tap to Marshall. He's got pace, well shepherded by Duthie. Bayes up towards half forward. Kernahan at the back. Too good for Frost on that occasion. Kernahan now about 30 metres out. He's gone short, looking for Hall. Has found him. He's about 30 out to 40 metres out. Played on short again. Oh, Holst completely unattended. Thought about the handball. In fact, the umpire's called play on. Holst runs around onto the right foot. And Holst has got his first goal. Glenelg's fourth. They're 4 goals, 7. Sturt 3-3.
Bit of confident play there by David Holst. He dummied the handball, went the handball over the top. He wasn't really confident in his first kick, but then he just brushed aside the tackle with his strength and scored the goal. I would think that Sturt will be well advised to get David McKechnie either running at the ball a lot more strongly than he is at the moment, or secondly, they've got to get Hargraves back on the ground, because it was Hargraves who came on in the first quarter and held the play very well. David McKechnie is having a bit of trouble with Peter Carey. Carey's absolutely dominated the ruck in his first few minutes of the second quarter.
2 quick goals to Glenelg in this second quarter, with Carey winning the ruck again. To Stringer. Forward go the Bays through Duthie. Out to McGuinness, who has another shot, and it's through.
I'd say.
The umpire says it was going to go through. He was on the line, right on the line. Andrew Downs takes the mark.
It stopped dead. It was floating. Tony McGuinness, unfortunately for him, miskicked the ball and it dropped short.
Downs missed kicks on the way out, but Hollis has a chance. He flicks it around to Pake, who turns well. He's in a bit of strife. Gets it to Whittlesey, though. Good hand pass on to Fry, who push it over the centre line for Sturt. Into the half-forward line for them. Filkey. Davies flicks it out to Howard. It didn't go anywhere, though. Good hand pass clear by the Bay player in Farquhar.
Free kick against Rick Davies.
And the player to take it looks like Salisbury.
Yes, he ran straight in and just pushed him in the head. Just pushed him out of the road too high.
Salisbury now for Glenelg. Kick underway towards the centre wing position. Looking for Carey. Simons from behind. Geez, he got up early, got the sit, and has taken the mark over the top of the big players.
They've made up their mind to attack and keep running this quarter, Glenelg.
Simons, kick underway that sits up. It's floating. Kernahan. Good mark. He's had many possessions already. This is his 6th kick so far for the game. Towards the pocket, Holst sits back. Now gets it. It's a handball on towards 12-tree. One bounce. Dummies. Gets the handball across. Hall. Goal. 20 metres out, Tony Hall. Glenelg 5 goals, 7. Sturt 3-3, and that's Hall's first goal.
Running.
McFarlane takes his time with his kick from the half-back flank position, grandstand side for Glenelg. 10 minutes in, Glenelg have kicked 3 goals against the Breeze. Sturt have only managed to put on 1. Big pack. The umpire's found one. Carey.
He marked it.
Carey, nice little punch to Holst. Holst turns. Good ball forward, looking for Campbell. And Campbell almost took that. Kernahan tries to run through. He's bundled off it. And it's Cater pushing the back. Kernahan asked to go right around, and there it is again. Campbell this time, and Heinrich having a little bit of a go behind the play. Campbell's pretty willing. He's pushed Heinrich into the ground, and he'll get a free.
Free kick against Campbell. He's not allowed to interfere when the ball's not within 5 metres.
There's absolutely no doubt about that. If the base supporters were watching that, Campbell pushed Heinrich into the ground. Heinrich's allowed to stand his ground, so he gets a free. Out onto the wing. Carey almost again. Big tackle there. Bay's unlucky not to get a free maybe there. Carey working hard now, pushes it out, but Motley's there. Motley ducking and weaving, still gets the boot onto it.
Did that well. He got hit in the chops on the way round.
To Craig, who's taken a good mark. Tempo of the game speeded up just in this last couple of minutes. 5th kick to Craig. He pushes it in, but a good defensive mark taken by Farquhar.
Farquhar played well last week and he's doing it well again. 5th kick for Farquhar. It's a high floating one. Motley came in late from the side. Now has he paid the mark? Or has it come off hands? Looks like a dead heat, and we'll see a bounce up.
Motley's not happy. He reckons he had it goal.
He came in late, Robert, and almost seemed to get it on his chest. The bounces are underway. Motley goes high again over the top of Craig.
Carey again out of that pack. Gee, Carey's working hard now, Robert. He's changed the game in this quarter, has he not?
He certainly is playing well.
Ball in half-forward line for Sturt. Be Motley against Seabohm. Motley tried to drag it down, couldn't do it. Good tackle applied by Salisbury. Bays are doing well in defence. Many players over the ball. Play again congested in that forward pocket area. A further bounce. Glenelg 5-7, Sturt 3-4. Sturt need to score with a breeze. Tapped out, comes to Marshall. To Hall, he gets a tap through. Looking for Campbell. Over the top of his head, spoiled away by Rathbone. It'll fall to Walsh, will it? Gets it away, tried to look for Stringer, didn't come off. The umpire's found a free kick.
It's interesting, he paid that as a throw. I think if Walsh had just let that drop out of his hand, the umpire's within his rights to call play on, because he had one arm held with no opportunity to get rid of it at all.
It's John Painter who's gone back to have a look at the goals for Sturt. They've only managed 2 shots with this breeze, and we're certainly well into the quarter by now. About the halfway mark in the quarter. Painter goes forward for another shot for the Blues, and it's a beautiful kick. Painter's first goal, Sturt's 4th. They got a 4-goal 4. They're behind Glenelg on 5-goal 7.
Yes, Glenelg a little bit unfortunate on that occasion to be caught holding the ball. Gavin Walsh was tackled at the exact moment that he took possession of the ball under his right arm. John Painter grabbed his left, held hold of his arm, and the ball was just thrown out just as a means to get rid of it. He panicked a little bit, but nevertheless a magnificent kick by John Painter.
13.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. It'll be Kernahan against McKechnie. Kernahan went up early, got the tap into the muddy patch. Marshall couldn't do much with it. He's held to ground. We'll see a ball up, maybe even a throw up in that muddy patch.
See Hargraves getting ready. I think the sooner the better at the moment. Glenelg taking complete charge in the ruck.
Throw up. McKechnie couldn't do much with it. Holtz tried to take it, was bundled off the ball. McFarlane's in there. Eventually comes out in favour of Glenelg and straight into the hands of Hall. Just on the edge of the square, he goes to play on. That's high, could even bring rain. Hasn't gone that far. Hollis comes in, takes it now for Sturt. He's held on to, but tackled very well. Derrington now drives Sturt up towards the full forward position. 2 Bay players there collided. Salisbury, Farquhar on the last lines, dragged off the ball. Pack converges. Davies was in there as well. And the free kick will go in the way of Bays.
Interesting decision back there on that half-back line. That mark to Paul Hollis could have been paid. The umpire couldn't blow his whistle quickly enough before he called play on.
Farquhar puts it into the half-back flank for Glenelg. Kernahan, another mark. Kernahan marking beautifully today. That's his 7th mark so far. Hargraves is on, as you see, standing that mark. Fry over the top for Sturt to clear. Painter to Radbone. Height, it's Motley, can't get hold of it. Cleared for the Bays. Beautifully pushed out there. Holst will run it out. He's going to have another go at it. Long, low kick, doesn't find his man. Glenelg still with a chance to go forward. McGuinness handled it beautifully. He has a chance, he settles down, and he's missed it. Tony McGuinness 1 point. That takes Glenelg to 5 goals 8. And Sturt are on 4-4. Glenelg have kicked 3 goals 3 this quarter against the breeze.
Downs kicks off now for Sturt. Didn't look that well, and he's put it straight in the arms of Simons.
Why he's kicking off this side of the ground, I wouldn't have a clue.
And old Hollis looks like he needs a needle and cotton at half-time to sew that jumper back up. Simons goes short. Found, looks like Nichols led out well. It's on a fairly acute angle. He'll be kicking directly into the breeze if he does have a shot at goal. A few leads coming up front. Nichols kicks underway, aims towards the square. Big thump away from behind, comes to Heinrich. Went to thump it instead of taking it. Oh, and the umpire's given a free kick the way of Sturt.
Holding the man. Philip Heinrich's going to kick it to the other side of the ground,
where he's found Fry. In fact, the umpire will call him to come back and probably kick over the mark.
I don't think he has to. That wasn't a kick out of bounds on the full. He came inside the boundary line and, in fact, just kicked that across. Whether the umpire had given him 10 metres, it doesn't look as though he has.
We couldn't go back to Fry on that occasion because he was then... Kernahan from behind, comes to Campbell, gets it across to Holst. He's had a few touches this quarter. Bayes with plenty of space here to Kernahan. Puts one up in, allowing for the breeze. It'll fall in the square. Carey couldn't take it off hands. Could be a goal. It is. Oh, player. Stringer it was that got that goal. Fry not happy, complaining with the goal umpire.
I think Eddie Fry thought that he completely missed the ball, the player. He only had to touch his foot on the way down, and Alan Stringer was awarded the goal. Didn't take him long to recover from his concussion, if that's what he had.
It was Stringer's first goal. Glenelg 6 goals, 8:44. Sturt 4-4-28.
17 minutes into the quarter, and Glenelg, a good quarter for them against the breeze. They've kicked 4 goals against it now to Sturt's 2. That time it's Hargraves who wins the knock. Glenelg clear it back, but Hollis, shirtless Hollis almost, chance to run it out on the wing. It finally sits up for him. He turns onto his left boot, scrambles it to Barbary. He can't take it. Salisbury keeps it in. The pack forms right on the boundary line. Half-forward flank position on the grandstand side. The umpire will bounce it. Seabohm and Motley were the contestants. Holst under it. Takes a fine mark. It, in fact, was bumped off it at the last minute. Certainly waited for it. Painter to Hollis. To Howard. Looks for Motley. He's on his own. And there it is.
Just amazing what a little bit of cool-headedness does when he gets the ball. Brendan Howard hasn't had a lot of touches today, but that pass across to Motley, just had a quick look and then coolly kicked it onto him, whereas another player could have 20 kicks and never achieve that from one of them.
Peter Motley's 8th kick for Sturt. And they badly need this one. And it's no good. Peter Motley not pleased with himself. Neither should he be. 1 point only. Sturt, 4 goals 5. Behind Glenelg on 6 goal 8.
Peter Motley not looking confident with his kick. That's the 3rd point he's kicked for the match.
Farquhar for the base. Went to go short there to Stringer. Changed his mind. Then thought about Salisbury and changed his mind again. Eventually gets the kick underway. Looking for Kernahan. Big pack fly. It'll come off hands in Sturt's favour to Howard. Onto the right boot towards half forward. Stringer couldn't take the mark. Comes to Filkey. Hurried handball looking for Davies. Tried to tap it on towards Painter. Painter eventually got it. How he did, I don't know, but he's got it onto the boot. His 2nd goal to Painter. Sturt 5-4. Glenelg 6-8.
It's a good team.
I'll bet London to a brick Henley Council's glad they paved with Hallett.
Hallett, your best bet for pavers. Lloyd's would like to introduce you to the beauty of real timber. Rich in a variety of colours and textures, timber adds character and brings a natural warmth to any living area. Lloyd's can show you how to use real timber panelling in your home, how to put it up and finish it off. It's really quite easy, and you can see just how beautiful it looks. Explore the possibilities of real timber panelling at Lloyd's.
If you need it, you can get it here at Lloyd's. 7 days a week. We're in a holiday mood. We're in a holiday mood.
If you're in a holiday mood, Warrinna's the place to be. Warrinna Holiday Resort. It's just an hour or so's drive south of Adelaide on the beautiful Normanville coast. If you have any reservations at all, call us.
We're in a golfing, boating, fishing, floating, tennis, swimming, bouncing, Barbie, touring, camping, caravanning, dining, dancing. How romantic. Lakeville family fit and healthy holiday mood. We're in a holiday mood. Claudia, Claudia, don't you think it's kind of funny? Claudia, don't you think it's kind of roomy? Claudia, I'm talking Claudia. Claudia, don't you think it's kind of funny? Claudia, don't you think it's kind of roomy?
it's another Mitsubishi.
Sturt 9 points down. Hargraves against Kernahan. Hargraves wins it. Into the open it goes. Hall will chase it. Sits up for him. He turns it out onto the wing for Glenelg. Chasing it there through was Heinrich to Whittlesey, who runs into trouble. Barbary gets a chance for Sturt. Onto the left foot to centre half forward. Under it is Salisbury for the base. He couldn't quite get onto it with the wind. Derrington has a chance to put it over to Filkey. Filkey looks at it and it's through. Quick reply by Sturt. Second goal to Filkey. Sturt back in the game on 6-5. Just 3 points down now in Glenelg.
Well, Peter Hargraves then took that knock out of the centre, followed up his own play. There's a little bit of negative feeling in the centre, obviously, amongst the Sturt players, because for the first 15 minutes of the quarter, Big Peter Carey took charge of the ruck, and then Stephen Kernahan came on, and he also did the same thing. But on that occasion, Sturt went into attack. Hargraves in the ruck. Can he now beat Carey?
20.5 minutes gone. Hargraves back in ruck for Sturt, doing a great job. He's up against Carey. Carey got the tap, didn't go that far though. Glenelg going backwards to McGuinness. He just gets a hurried little right foot kick away, looking for 12-3. Kept his eye on the ball. Will he pick it up and play on? He has. The umpire wouldn't allow it. He'll have to go back over the mark.
Must have paid the free.
No, he didn't. You have to kick over the mark on a mark. You can only play on a free kick.
12-3 looking for Marshall. Whittlesey did well, but Marshall did even better and has taken the mark. Good relieving take there by Marshall. This will be his 10th kick.
Yes, Keith, what happens is if there's a free kick paid, then the umpire doesn't have to pay the free kick if it means penalising the side. If a player takes a mark, then he's got to play on from behind the mark.
David Marshall, 23-year-old, his 10th kick for the game. Plenty of time. Nice looking drop punt. He'll get the distance. Has he got the accuracy? He hasn't. Minor score. Glenelg 6-9. Sturt 6-5.
Gee, you'd have to feel a bit unlucky having kicked that magnificent kick over the left-hand post, and I don't think it even deviated an inch in flight. He kicked it so well.
Downs will kick off for Sturt. Coming to the outer flank, Barbary. Barbary settles it down. Fry and Hargraves giving him a lead. Onto the wing position. Hargraves almost takes it. Chance for Holst. Fry's over the top of him, though.
That's ridiculous by Eddie Fry. Why he's doing...
Oh! Yeah, beauty. Holsty decided to get him out of the way in a big hurry. And 15 metres as well. David Holst. Forward for the Bays, over their half-forward line. Kernahan's there against Frost, who almost marked it, should have marked it. Kernahan with a chance for goal. 1 point only. Bays stay in front, though. They go to 6-10. And Sturt are on 6-5.
Well, Downs, he's going to kick it out on the outer side this time, and he's kicked it to the centre of the ground.
As Whittlesey comes to Duthie onto his left boot. Hooks it back to the pocket, looking for Nichols. He's well in front of Downs. Nichols will play on. He had Stringer short in the centre. It was a shocking kick, though. Fell in the arms of Reid. Plays on quickly now towards Painter. He's got time and support. Oh, awkward-looking kick. Painter should follow it through, though. Can he pick it up? Holst came in and met him heavily. Scooped through the legs. Players converging. Pake's in there. The umpire will give a free kick. Holding the ball in the way of Glenelg.
Against Craig.
Oh, no, he's going to give it over the shoulder. He pointed the other way. Neil Craig had the ball. Was tackled high, obviously.
Changed his mind. Craig goes long with using the breeze towards the full forward. Davies up from behind. Good mark by Davies. Too good for Farquhar on that occasion. We saw Davies get 6 last week. He kicked a record 151 last season. The chance to put his first on the board. He's only about 20 metres out.
What about that kick of Neil Craig's? Rick lobbed it in his hands. It was so good.
Covered a lot of ground. Davies straight over the top of the goal umpire's head. His first goal. Sturt 7-5. Glenelg 6-10.
Carey against Hargraves. Neutralised. Painters picks it up, pushes it over centre half forward for Sturt. Filkey tried to push it forward. He's picked it up again. Filkey dives it out to Whittlesey, who has a shot and hits way off line off the side. Out of bounds on the full.
Greg Whittlesey getting down from the centre of the ground. Rick Davies trying to compete up there. Filkey working hard underneath him. certainly keeping the Glenelg defence on their toes.
Hope they've got a good supply of balls here at the Bay. Now here it is, coming back out of the crowd again. Well, almost out.
There's 2 balls coming back. Apparently we've got them all back from the road. One's on the oval, 2 are on the oval.
Choice of 2. Rick Davies will have a look at this one, see if it's a reasonable one to play on with. No, doesn't like it. Yes, he does. He's chucked it back.
What's Holst doing back there? He's playing centre.
David Holst is going to be the player to kick in for Glenelg. A big kick against this breeze. Right out onto the half-back line. Up high was Motley. Couldn't hold it in front of the pack. Umpires found a free. And it goes to Glenelg, who will push it out onto their wing position. David Marshall to take it. He steadies it down. David Marshall looking for Kernahan. In front was Frost. Eddie Fry has a ping at it. Can't get a kick, though. Kernahan underneath the pack there.
The competitiveness is certainly very strong out there this afternoon. It's a very good game. Players from both sides getting the ball very quickly. They're erring a little bit in their disposal at times, though.
Carey and Hargraves. Carey won it, but it goes to Craig. Craig works around the back of the pack. High kick. It's McFarlane pushing it forward for Glenelg. Tackled vigorously was Marshall. He's still in there, though. To Craig. Craig to Motley, pushes it on to Derrington. Derrington turns and has a look. It's gone out wide. Davies is in position. Little shove there to Farquhar. Is it going to be paid?
Down the way.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Davies just gave Farquhar the nudge, trying to get a better position on it. Michael Farquhar picks up a free.
Into time on second quarter. Farquhar goes out towards the outer side.
It's a long kick
for Carey.
Sorry, it's a long kick into the breeze too. He covered some 60 metres then, Rick.
There's not a lot of Farquhar, but he kicks out very well from full back.
I think that wind might have in fact died down a little bit.
Throw in. Carey against Hargraves. Hargraves thumps it backwards, went to Craig. Looking for Painter. Holst coming through to Simons, to McGuinness. He's under pressure from Radbone. Duthie eventually comes in. Barbary there as well. Ball out of bounds again. Throw in almost on centre wing. Yes, the 27.5 minutes gone, and as you said, Robert, that windsock has just dropped a little at the moment.
It's gusty, if anything, I'd say.
Sturt kicking with the breeze. Stringer comes to ground. Bays for the chance now. Could have given the handball to McGuinness, but elected to bypass that player. Got up towards Kernahan, all out by himself. He could play on. He's got Nichols and Downs. Nichols is calling for it. Hole there as well. Motley from behind. Nichols couldn't pick it up. Stringer to McGuinness. Took his eye off it. Craig in there. McGuinness fighting hard. Campbell. Play a little scrappy.
Let's just make mention here what a wonderful bit of play by Peter Motley then to run back up there. I thought he'd come from centre-half forward, but I think he's been shifted into the centre and Whittlesey to centre-half forward. But he certainly got back into that defensive action very well then.
Bounced down half forward for the Bays. Kernahan got the tap, went straight to Craig. He was under extreme pressure straight away. Fry in there. Bounce up again, almost exactly the same position. Played about 3 minutes of time on. 1 point the difference, Sturt's favour. Bounce up. Be Frost, the 2 number 4s, and Kernahan to Craig. Tries to bundle his way through. Called play on. Heinrich for Sturt. They get out of trouble up towards the pocket area. From behind, well smothered. Carey coming in.
Painter beautifully forward.
Hargraves. Looks like he's going to get the free kick.
Good player, Hargraves. You see, he stayed back on Carey in the back play then to give Sturt something to kick to. So instead of Peter Carey being on his own, Hargraves was there with him, and it gave a little bit of competition, and he's been tackled high. It's an important kick with time on, well into time on, in fact. 4.5 minutes.
Peter Hargraves. Looking for Davies. Is he going to be paid? Yes, he is.
That's a great mark. That was the judgment of that mark must have been terrific. A player came across the front of him then, Keith, and another player from behind, and he was able to put a vice-like grip on it in the first take, and then he even had a second nibble at it when they knocked it out of his hands. Certainly a wonderful mark.
Rick Davies, 1 goal on the board now. Kicked it just a few minutes ago, late in the second quarter. His 4th kick and a goal. Second goal to Rick Davies, the 8th to Sturt. They go to 8-5. They're in the lead now. Glenelg are 6-10.
Well, that was a very handy goal for the Blues. They've just nosed out in front. They were 1 point in front. They've increased that to 7 points. 5 minutes into time on. It's been a long quarter. There's been a lot of action this quarter. Balls going over the fence. They keep going over and going back. But Sturt and the half-back line, Eddie Fry's done a couple of very good knocks today, boys, from that half-back line. He knocked 2 balls on that occasion to Neil Craig in that previous passage of play that got Sturt running into that forward line. Philip Heinrich's playing quite well in the back pocket still. He's having a very good season. He was shifted there last year late, and he's certainly proven to be a very good player in the back pocket.
Bounce up into time on. Could be another thriller here down at the Bay. Awkward looking bounce. Didn't favour either of the two ruckmen. Eventually comes to Motley. Maybe having a run on the ball. Gets a hurry kick up towards half forward.
He's playing centre, Rick.
Seabohm couldn't do anything with it. May have got a push in the back. The umpire did see it. So Seabohm now on centre half back for Glenelg.
He's playing well, isn't he?
Good game. They could do with a goal, though. It's come out very wide looking for Simons. Good jump by Simons. May have hurt a leg. Just holding the right thigh. Looks all right. He's got up anyway. See the look on his face. Goes on towards the centre. Unattended. McFarlane. Comes towards the pocket area, looking for Nichols. Oh, could have been pushed out. Play called on. Eventually comes to Stringer. It was a scoot. Bay crowd not happy at all with that decision.
The umpire's right in front of it. He was certain of it too, the umpire. He just said he threw it to him. Obviously hit it with an open hand.
Fullback Downs. Over the centre for Sturt. Hargraves in front, couldn't take the mark. From behind McFarlane for Glenelg, then Holst. Holst will clear. Carey's got a look at it. Nice pass over the head to Simons, running down the wing. A half forward. Fry stops it. And a free paid to Nichols against Downs. Nichols pushes it into Kernahan, who lines up. And yet another mark to him, playing brilliantly today. See, that's his 9th mark.
That kick favoured him very well too, didn't it? It went right across to the front of him. I don't know whether it was aimed to be in that direction, but it was perfectly placed. The kick, it just drifted with the breeze, and it just gave Kernahan first run at the ball.
Plenty of touches for Stephen Kernahan. His 13th kick coming up, an important one for them. Chance for the Bays to go in. Only a few points down. It's a beautiful kick. The umpire doesn't move. Stephen Kernahan's first goal. Glenelg go to 7-goal 10. Only just behind Sturt on 8-goal 5.
I think Sturt might be worrying a little bit about the fact of getting David Frost to come up and play for them from Glenelg. I'm sure that he doesn't have the ability to go with Stephen Kernahan. He's a tall lad, but he's not getting anywhere near the player. It's the only hope they've got, those Sturt, is to get Kernahan away from the play somehow or other by spoiling away from him if possible. But we can't doubt Stephen Kernahan's ability. He is one of the greatest marks in the history of football, and he's played well, and we're 33 minutes into this second quarter.
So it's been a long quarter. We've seen several balls lost in the crowd. Bounced down. 33 minutes gone of the second quarter. Awkward bounce favours Carey. Gets a big thump only as far as Fry. Couldn't trap it. To 12-tree. Over towards Stringer. He's looking for supports. Got it in Campbell. Back towards 12-tree. He's got time to pick it up. He's under pressure from Fry. Checks. Comes back. Fails Marshall. They got there eventually, Glenelg. It took them a while to get there. Several short little handballs, but Marshall eventually marked.
He's the right man to have the ball too. He's a very, very good kick.
It'll be his 13th. The siren's gone. Important one for Marshall. Glenelg trailing by a point, kicking into the breeze in the second quarter here. Very vital goal. Marshall will take time over this. He would love to kick it. He's about 45 metres out. So it's a shocker. Won't even make the goal square area. So at half-time, Glenelg 7 goals 10, trailing Sturt by 1 point. Sturt 8 goals 5, 53.
So at half-time at Glenelg, Sturt led by 1 point, 8 goals 5, 53 points to Glenelg, 7 goals 10, 52. A great second quarter by Glenelg into the wind. They kicked 5 goals 3 in that second quarter compared to Sturt's 6 goals 2 with the breeze. So Robert, Glenelg a great second quarter into the wind. After half-time they would have been looking to consolidate with the wind in the third quarter.
Yeah, they would have, Rick. They didn't have a great deal of luck in that third quarter. They worked very hard with the kicking with the breeze. They couldn't get any cohesion together. On the other hand, Sturt, when they went into attack, they got into a bit of strife up in their attacking area through the fact that Seabohm at centre-half back was playing so well. Michael Farquhar at full-back was holding Davies very well, but there was no cohesion. And on the rebound plays, nothing was happening. And at the 25-minute mark of the third quarter, 3-3 Glenelg had kicked to 1-3 to Sturt. And Sturt would have been pretty satisfied at that stage that they were going into the last quarter with a pretty good chance of winning the game. But finally, Glenelg did it. They got a little bit of cohesion as they came through the centre of the ground, where Simons, Marshall and Duthie finally took control and gave them that bit of cohesion they were looking for.
In fact, that's where we'll go back to our replay. 25 minutes into the third quarter, in fact, into time on. The scores, Glenelg 10-13, Sturt 9-8.
Right of Glenelg, under it, Redbone, went up too early. Chris Duthie stood his ground and takes a fine mark.
3-3 to 1-3 are the scores this quarter.
12 kicks to Duthie.
3-3 to Glenelg, 1-3 to Sturt.
Big kick from Duthie, but no accuracy in it. 1 point the result. Glenelg to 10-14 over Sturt on 9-8. What sort of moves would Coach Campbell be thinking about at this stage, Robert?
I would think he'd be fairly happy with the way they're going about getting the ball. The team play doesn't seem to be all that smooth, though, from either side. It's the marking capacity up forward for Glenelg that's the thing.
There's Duthie again.
In front of Kernahan. Kernahan would have had his hands on it anyway. They both read it much better than their Sturt counterparts. Identical kick.
Identical mark.
He's running on the other line this time.
That's better. First goal to Chris Duthie. And a handy one for the Bays. They've got the wind in this quarter. We're in the time-on period. They go to 11-14 to Sturt's 9-8.
Well, they've got a real ascendancy across the centre at the moment. Chris Radbone can't do anything on this wing of anything positive, that is. He hasn't let Duthie away that much, but Duthie's height's going to be important, particularly on that marking ability, with Sturt defending on this grandstand side of the wing, of the ground rather, and on this wing, Chris Duthie is able to take a good mark here and there. On the other side, Tony Simons playing very, very well, and David Marshall in the centre, just forming a little link play in between with his good kick. He doesn't perhaps have the same penetration around the close-in quarters as the other players.
27 minutes gone of the third quarter to be Kernahan against McKechnie. McKechnie got the big thump to Craig. He tries to twist, chips one away towards the vacant spaces. It wasn't a very good kick and Duthie's chipped in. He'll play on, driving the Bays up towards half forward. In front, looked like Stringer. Marshall, could be a goal. It is, well done Marshall, his second. Glenelg's 12th there, 12 goals, 14, 80. Sturt 9 goals, 8.
Well, that's what David Marshall likes to do. He likes to just run into the forward line and be on the receiving end of the play as it comes in. He's not a defensive type of sentiment at all. He just loves to attack into that forward area, pick up the kicks off hands, which he reads very, very well, and he's a deadly kick. But Neil Craig making a very bad error then on the half-forward line for Sturt. A beautiful dodge, and then kicked it sideways across the ground with a cross breeze coming across him. And Sturt in all sorts of strife now. Glenelg in with a big chance.
Glenelg jumped to 4 goals clear. Well into time on in this third quarter. Big job for McKechnie. Wins another one in a row, but only to a Bay player. Radbone out here. Gives it to Derrington. Derrington forward to the half-forward line for Sturt. Motley against Seabohm. Motley tries to get it, can't take it. Well put out by Walsh. Carried over by Seabohm. Plenty of excitement from the Bay crowd now as they sense that with 4 goals up, they could have this one in hand with the home ground advantage. Davies will take this one against Farquhar. He gave it to Moskeni. Moskeni to Filkey. He's hung on to it. Still got hold of it. He's hanging on to it. Moskeni with a chase, but McGuinness too quick for him. McGuinness taken out by Whittlesey. Hall across. McFarlane for the Bays to Kernahan, and they go forward again. Big boot by Kernahan, and it's through. 5 goals clear the Bays go. They're on 13-14 to Sturt's 9-8. 3 goals to Kernahan.
Well, the Glenelg players are absolutely ecstatic about that rebound play. They came out of their defensive action. Filkey trying very hard to keep the ball. They ripped it off him and took it straight down the centre of the ground to Stephen Kernahan, who's standing there unopposed. He was just coming onto the ball and Carey going off, and he's kicked truly. And Glenelg really in the box seat now.
Glenelg by 30 points into time on in the third quarter. Through players' legs. Stringer comes in. Craig put boot to ball. no one able to make headway there. We'll see a bounce up.
This bit of team play that's occurring now for Glenelg is what they've needed all along. They haven't been cohesive at all in their team play, but they're certainly putting it together now.
Bounce up. McKechnie and Kernahan come from the same side. Towards Filkey. Siren's gone. Three-quarter time, Glenelg 13-14, 92 points. Lead Sturt, 9 goals, 8, 62, a margin of 30.
4 minutes of vital play there by Glenelg in that time-on period. In fact, they went on to win the game quite handsomely.